I found there are certain things that I can do that will help me bring myself out of these sort of like very like single-minded, like I need to do this project, and if I can't do it, then I'm, not worth my salt, whatever. So for me, it's like I love driving, which I know is not very eco-friendly, but it's like it's like whenever I feel like I'm getting stuck, I just get in the car and I drive for a while, and there's something about that sort of like emotion and the physical act of like putting space between you and the source of your anxiety, or just feeling like you're doing something and like physically getting out of it. For me, that's like one of the things, whenever I'm feeling stuck, like that, if nothing else works, like without fail, that always works. It always gives me some idea. Plus it gives you, if you're an artist, it gives you good excuse to like look at things. So it's like, it doesn't matter what road you drive down, there's always something that you could see that will maybe like sparks a little something. And even if you don't use it immediately, like it'll get kind of juices flowing again. So I think it's important to find whatever works for you, to find some way to like release that tension and remind yourself like how to get back into the rhythm of being creative. I feel like you don't have a choice. You, by nature of being a human being, you are creative. It's part of us as living things. It's part of our makeup. And I think that a lot of times you can confuse the idea of being creative with pursuing like the creative field, like creative arts or whatever. You don't have to be a musician or an artist or a dancer to be creative. I feel like, I don't know, to me, creativity is much more of an approach than a thing. It's not like I have creativity or I don't. It's like I use creativity for, well, there is no I don't. Everybody does in some way. And especially by nature of being individuals. Like you as a person are somehow creative because how you approach things is very specific to you. So I think that saying that you're not creative is, it's not a cop-out exactly, but I think it's again, like a self-consciousness. It's like not feeling like your approach, like what you could bring to the table is valid. Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of it is just saying, like me as an individual, my ideas, my purview, etc., is valid. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that is creative, like that ability to be imaginative and innovative in any way. It doesn't matter what you do, because again, it's how you do it. It's not, it's not a thing. It is what do they say? It's not the destination, it's the journey. Yeah. And it's very cheesy. But, it is that same idea. It's your approach to it. It doesn't matter if you work, in inventory. There's still a way for you to use, even if it's not a totally new approach, something that makes things more efficient or more effective or just, different. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I feel like everybody is creative. You can't help it. Because, as you get older, it becomes more difficult to hardwire those impulses in yourself. So I think that one of the main things you have to do is just keep reminding yourself that what you're doing is okay and that it's what you want to do, you need to do, etc. And you sort of have to replace the influences that you would have gotten as a child from your parents or your friends or whatever with your internal voice saying like, you obviously that like if you've already started down that path of I am pursuing this creative thing, I need to do this to fulfill something, then, that's already like 90% of the battle because you already have that seed. And so everything after that is just self-encouragement, but you really have to work on sort of like respecting yourself, nurturing yourself, trusting yourself enough to give free rein to whatever started as some little impulse, to see it through. You really need to just keep telling yourself, like, it's okay to do this. So I think that's my biggest thing. And also surround yourself with people who will encourage you. It's so important. And if there's just nobody in your life that will support you, then don't be them. I feel like the worst thing that you can do if you're trying to like nurture this budding creativity is to surround yourself with people who are going to be naysayers, because it just means that you're never going to fulfill that potential. So, and there's nothing sadder than that, because you have the right to, everybody has the right to. So definitely find people who are not even necessarily like doing the same thing that you are doing, but just like your grandparents, like little kids that you babysit for, like somebody who will just be like, yeah, like good for you. Like even if I have no idea what you're doing, I don't understand it at all. As long as they're there to just kind of boost you up, I feel like that's really important. Like you can, you're going to get better. If you're paying attention, you're going to get better. So just keep going until you get better.